Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you are able to listen to me properly as well as there is no problem with my audio and the video, please do let me know. All your questions and queries will also be solved. Okay, do not worry about the same. Just first let me know, are you guys able to listen to me properly? Hello everyone. Okay, so I was not able to complete the Netflix workshop because for the past 1 week I have been suffering from some medical issues. So I had fever, then I had headaches, and then went to the doctor, and I came to know that I was suffering from a fatty liver. And due to that, I was actually not able to conduct the classes no matter what. In the next 2 days itself, I will be preparing for those classes for Netflix, and within this week, we will be completing the Netflix bootcamp as well, alongside the OYO bootcamp. Okay, so please don't worry about the same. Those who are able to listen to me properly and those who know the reason right now, okay, the project itself, like I said right now, Dharbanga, we will be completing the Netflix bootcamp within this week itself. I will need 2 days to prepare for the same because I was not well, so I was not able to prepare. So today and tomorrow I will be preparing for the Netflix bootcamp as well, and within the next week we'll be finishing off the Netflix project within the next first 2 days of like that is Monday and Tuesday. We'll be finishing off with our Netflix bootcamp as well, and we will simultaneously be continuing with our OU bootcamp. Okay, so due to my health issues I was not able to complete the bootcamp, but we will be completing it once the projects and everything has been done. Okay, for the Netflix bootcamp, we will ask you to submit it, and then the certificates will be sent according to the same. I'm so sorry I was not able to complete the bootcamp on time because of various reasons. Like I said, it came down to fatty liver. So basically, the doctor said that you are very fat. Take care of it. So I'm trying my best. We will complete the Netflix clone on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, 2 days. We will finish off the Netflix clone, and simultaneously we'll be having our OYO rooms on a daily basis. Right now, I'm feeling absolutely fine. I'm taking my medicines as well. So there shouldn't be any issues with our Netflix bootcamp or the OYO bootcamp from now. And don't worry, for the Netflix project as well, what I will be doing is I will be making sure that whatever I'm teaching in the project, the Netflix project, I will be revising some of the stuff as well, and I will be introducing some more stuffs like grid layout and something else as well in CSS, so that you guys are able to revise along with, because I understand that a lot of time has passed. So I will revise both the stuff while doing the project as well, so that you guys don't have to worry about the same. Okay, so yeah, in OYO, we are going to first of all start with JavaScript. Today we'll be focusing upon JavaScript. We'll be completing the basics of JavaScript. For those who are new to this bootcamp, for them, I'm just letting them know. Once we have completed the JavaScript portion, we will then shift on, because right now we need to do two things. Okay, in the OYO bootcamp, what is our aim? What is the final project? We are going to create a web-based application. Okay, that is a web app in which you can scan the entire room through your mobile phone, through any mobile phone, and identify objects using the same. Okay, we don't worry about the same. Okay, for those who have attended any of our previous boot camp, you can ask them. We never assume that you know anything. We always do from scratch itself. Okay, can our program scan hidden cameras in hidden room? No, Harshit, as we are using a normal camera sensor, so it will only be able to identify objects that are visible to your naked eye as well. For something very specific like an hidden camera, you would have to go forward with, instead of using your own cell phone's camera, you will have to use a UV sensitive camera itself, because then you will be looking at IR radiations or UV lights throughout the room. So if you want to like look for these kind of hidden cameras, then you would have to have that kind of sensors as well. Okay. Karthik, I told it right now itself on Monday because I was not well for the past few days. I was not able to conduct the Netflix project. So on Monday and Tuesday, we will be having our Netflix project as well as the bootcamp of OYO will continuously go on. We won't be stopping that. On Monday and Tuesday, we'll be having our Netflix project as well. Okay. Okay. So this is what I'm planning for as of this particular moment for this bootcamp as well as for the Netflix loan. Those students who haven't attended the previous bootcamp for the Netflix loan, you can also attend that session of the project. I will try my best so that you are able to understand the project. But yeah, you will need some basic requirements of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that I've already taught in the previous bootcamp. So yeah. How the attendance will be taking place, I will be telling you at the end of today's bootcamp. Not right now, at the end of today's bootcamp. Okay. No, we are going to develop a web application, not an app. Okay, an app is an Android. You usually classify an app as an Android app in your local language itself, like in your layman terms. But app is basically short form for application. Anything can be an application, a desktop application, a web application, mobile interface based application, IoT based application. So an application is a very broad sense that is usually short form, like you use the abbreviation app to like classify an application. But yeah, it's not an Android app that we are going to use because most people associate app with Android. We're going to focus upon a web app, that is a web application itself. Okay, how will it be useful in real world applications? An amazing question. Vandana has asked a very good question right now. So basically, see, let's assume. So first of all, there is one of amenity detection that Airbnb uses. I don't know why, like they use the same, like you can go into any of their rooms, scan around the entire room itself, and it will be able to identify various different objects present in the room and tell you the different amenities of your current room that you are seeing. So, but I don't feel that is a real world application for the same. A real world application for the same would be, for example, you are blind. Okay, you are able to just take out your phone, scan through the room, and it is able to identify that there is a chair present in front of you. It is able to vocalize the same thing. Right now, we'll just be showing that okay, a chair is present in front of you. You can use some further machine learning algorithms to convert that text, that is chair, to a voice. Okay, just like what happens in Siri. So it's just a text that it reads out. Okay, so you can definitely do that. So that would be for a blind person. Then you are having a self-driving cars. They need to identify that this is a human, this is a car. So that is also an object detection program as well. So there's a lot many number of applications to object detection. Okay, it may be possible that you are having an industry, you are working in an industry such as steel, and there you have to identify whether this quality of steel is good or bad. So you can use object detection to take pictures of the steel that is going through the entire pipelining, and if you find some type of flaws in the same, like detection of flaws, then you can directly remove that steel and send it to pre-processing itself. So on and so forth. Okay, no, there are no prerequisites. We will be doing it from scratch. What do you mean real world projects, sir? I don't understand. Real world project is something that you are able to utilize in your day to day life. That I classify it as a real world project. Okay. So what about the last one, Netflix clown? It's clone, but no issues. Tanisha, I have already said that for the past week I was not feeling well, hence I was not able to conduct the last 2 days of the Netflix clone, and that is my fault. So on Monday and Tuesday we will have separate classes in which we will be completing the Netflix clone entirely. Okay. Okay. Uh, I have Tmux and Pyroid 3 to learn Python. Can I use it for this session? No. We will be using mostly JavaScript in this session and maybe a little bit of Python. That's it. What do you mean by object detection? Okay, I just missed out. What do you mean by object detection? Okay, so I'm able to hold a glass, I'm able to see a glass and say that, okay, this is a glass. This is detecting an object. English. Let's see, this is not a technical term. This is just plain old English. Just do the words separate, try to understand the meaning. Detecting an object. That using a mobile phone. That I'm able to put a mobile phone in front of this glass, and using the camera, it is able to identify that this is a glass. That's the basic sort of stuff that I'm talking about. That is called as object detection. Okay, Netflix clone project I've already said. So will we be using Node.js and Django here? No, this is a completely front-end application that we'll be developing. There will be no backend involved in the same. Mass detection and social distancing can be done using this. Yes, absolutely. Python or JavaScript. Okay. Python or JavaScript, which we will be using. First of all, we'll be starting with JavaScript. Depending upon the requirement of the project, we may be diving into Python as well. What happened to the Netflix loan session? Wasn't it supposed to be today? John, I told you guys that I was not feeling well for the past week due to some health issues. So I was not able to complete the bootcamp. We will be completing it on Monday and Tuesday. I need 1 or 2 days to prepare for the bootcamp as well. So I will be taking today and tomorrow to prepare for the boot camps, and then on Monday and Tuesday separately, this will go on, this boot camp will go on. Separately, we'll be having classes for your Netflix application as well. Okay. Do I need to have knowledge in Python? No, you don't need to have any kind of knowledge to start off for this particular boot camp. I've registered but didn't get an email. You don't have to worry if you haven't registered for the same. What are the prerequisites for this session? There are no prerequisites. How many languages we will be using, it will totally depend upon the project itself. Okay, we will use machine learning in JavaScript. That's cool actually. Yes, you will be using TensorFlow.js. Okay, usually when you are so those who are familiar with deep learning or computer vision, usually you will be working with Python and using TensorFlow as a library that to make different type of machine learning algorithms. But here we will be using JavaScript for making our application itself. So that would be a totally separate thing. Okay, which type of library we will be using in this project? As I explained, we'll be using TensorFlow.js. That is a JavaScript version for TensorFlow that we will be able to use. Can you explain about computer vision? Okay, I will be explaining it. Let it be for right now. Can we create our own website through the OYO bootcamp? Whatever the project that we'll be creating, it will be a website itself, and we will be hosting it. You can share the link with your friends, and they will be able to utilize your application as well. So you don't have to worry about it. Yes, the video will be available for your lifetime on this YouTube channel. You can, of course, come back and watch it at any point of time. Prerequisites for certificate will be letting you know at a later more time itself. Please take more projects to get more knowledge. Surely we will take our we'll try our best. We are planning for having 3 or 4 these type of boot camps of heavy projects that you guys may enjoy throughout a month. Okay. When will the web dev Netflix start? So if someone is asking this question again, try to just answer them in the live chat. I don't want to repeat again and again. So we'll be having it on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, I'll be starting in 2 minutes. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone's questions have got answered, and then we'll start off with the same. Okay. Yes, if at any point we will require Python, I will definitely teach Python as well. You don't have to worry about the same. Okay, so let's get started with our today's bootcamp itself. Okay, whatever type of what are the requirements for certificates, how to give attendance, we'll be telling you at the end of the class itself. Okay, when you will start the implementation, you are teaching theory part. I haven't started even teaching. Like this is the I've just came right now live, so please be patient. Okay, I understand you guys are great coders and you will be able to hack NASA with HTML, but just be patient. Okay, if you don't know the theory, then you won't be able to do shit when you are actually coding. So we'll handle both the practical aspect as well as the theoretical aspect together, so that nobody is lacking on any front. Okay, so that is very important. So let's get started. Okay, let me just open up my PPT. Give me a second, guys. Okay, get started with JavaScript. Yeah, this is a particular for the basic web dev bootcamp. I haven't shared this. I will be telling my team to share it alongside the Netflix bootcamp, Netflix final project itself. So don't worry. Okay, so first of all, let's start off with the basic knowledge about JavaScript. Just let me know how many of you are attending like a bootcamp for the first time. Okay, can someone let me know how many of you are attending the bootcamp for the first any type of bootcamp by like DevTown you are attending it for the first time? And who is putting up like 20 rupees right over here? Like, are you idiot? Like, this is for free. Why do you want to pay for the same? People have a lot of money to waste. Like, that's great, man. Waste it. Okay, first time. Okay, so a lot many of you are actually for the first time itself. I'm attending an online bootcamp for the first time. No issues in that, Daniel. So I hope that you guys will be able to enjoy the same as well. Okay, I will try my best to create like make it as entertaining as possible. Like I cannot dance for you because I'm a very poor dancer, but like still I will try to make sure that you are able to understand most of this stuff. Okay. So let's get started. First of all, JavaScript. The main programming language that we are going to use in our project will be JavaScript itself. Now you need to first understand about the rich history of the language to be able to fully like embrace like the usage and the importance of the language that you are going to learn and why is it important to learn at the end of the day. I'll be spending like the first 20 minutes to brief you about the same as well about the language, and then we'll start off with the hands-on JavaScript itself. Okay, so one of the major facts about JavaScript is that it was just created in 10 days. Like just imagine this fact that the entire web that you're using anywhere, whether it be your Google, Facebook, Netflix, any website that you go on, any random website that you are able to type and go on, it is made in JavaScript only. The entire web that you are currently using is 100% in the front end made in JavaScript, and the servers and everything that are made almost 60 to 70% is made in JavaScript. So JavaScript is basically the language that currently powers the entire web, as well as not just web 2.0. For those who are familiar, the current version of the web that you are using, okay, is the web 2.0 that we refer to. And what is currently coming to the market, for example, your cryptocurrencies, your decentralized banking systems, your NFTs, your metaverse, all these different aspects that we consider as the next evolution of the web called as web 3.0 is also being made in JavaScript. So this is one of the languages that is the past, present, and the future of the web, and it is always going to be there. Because just imagine, like your entire earth is made up of mud, and then one day somebody is saying like, nah, 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 the earth should be made up of gold. It's not possible. You cannot do that instantaneously or even in a billion years. The same is happening with JavaScript. JavaScript has become so rooted in the existence of websites itself that it can never be pulled out. It was possible that when we were transitioning, right now we are going from web 2.0, the current version that you're using, to web 3.0. Okay, the NFTs, the cryptocurrencies, the metaverse, and all these kind of stuff that is being introduced by various different companies. We could transition to some other new like language as well, but we didn't. Why is that the case? Because the base, the foundation that had been made in web 2.0 had been made only in JavaScript. So transitioning from it to web 3.0 would not make a lot of sense. So JavaScript is always going to be constant, guys. At any point of time, you have to learn JavaScript no matter what. It is being used not just in web-based applications, but also in app-based that is your mobile applications as well. So you're having a React Native, your in Flutter as well, you will be able to use JavaScript. So all these applications, you can make your like Netflix app, like just the Android, iOS apps, you can make it in JavaScript as well. your desktop apps as well, you can create it in JavaScript. Your gaming setups, okay, so all the gaming like GTA 5, or I don't play a lot of games, so like I have no idea, like COD, Call of Duty or something like that. All these games are there. Most of their assets are able, the assets are the digital assets that they are able to create. For example, the character itself, the movement of the character, the shooting of the character, how the bullet is going to appear, and what is the physics behind it. All this is being implemented in JavaScript itself. So you may be creating the character, the guns, the bullets, the environment in Unreal Engine, or some other platform. These are some of the platforms that you utilize for making games. But the coding aspect is in fact done either in C++ or in JavaScript. These are the two languages that you use, sometimes C#. Right now we are transitioning into C#. So these are the languages, but JavaScript still remains a constant factor there as well. And that is something that you guys need to understand. It is very important to learn JavaScript. Why we are learning JavaScript, I will be letting you know, because right now if I'm trying to explain it to you without explaining the core essence of machine learning, you won't be able to understand it much. But we will be coming back to why we are using JavaScript for deploying our, like for making our web-based application itself. While we'll be starting off with our project, that will be the best time. Right now, just think about JavaScript as whatever you want to do, you have to learn JavaScript at the end of the day. Now, how did this came into being? It is written right over here that it was just created in 10 days. So, if I am not wrong, okay, Guido van Rossum created Python. So, who created JavaScript? I forgot the name of that particular person. Let me just make a Google search for the same. Okay, creator of Java, Brendan Eich. That's right. So Brendan Eich was so at that particular point of time when Brendan Eich was going to, like, was on a peak of him being a programmer, he was approached by a company called as Netscape. Okay, at that point, so for right now you are hearing about Safari, you are hearing about Google Chrome, Opera Mini, Mozilla Firefox. All these are web browsers. So back in 1990s and 1980s, at that point of time, Netscape was the biggest web browser that was available. All the other browsers were not even in existence at that point of time. They approached Brendan Eich with a problem statement. So this is usually how companies approach programmers. They have a problem, they approach programmers, they solve it for you. So they approached Brendan Eich saying that, yeah, man, I'm having a problem. I want to make animations. I want to make my website interactive, responsive to the users. Right now, it's just like beautiful. We are able to show content, but it's not responsive. Like the user is not able to click on anything. It's not able to interact with the website itself. And at that point of time, Java was one of the most used language. All the web-based applications as well were using Java at that point of time. But you need to understand that Java is a very, very resource intensive language. It will utilize a lot of resources from your computer to just show a pop-up at the end of the day, like the pop-up or notification that you're getting. It will utilize a lot of resources from your computer to do so. They needed a light language that they are able to use to like do all these interactive stuff. So they approached Brendan Eich, said that we have this problem, could you help us out with the same? Brendan Eich said sure, and he created a language in just 10 days for the same, and they named it as LiveScript. Okay, they named that language as LiveScript. But nobody was using this language. Just think of it as you created a particular product, you created a soap, and you feel that, okay, anyone who uses this soap will be 20 years younger. Okay, just by like using it once, you will be 20 years younger. But nobody knows about your soap itself. Nobody cares about it. So what can you do? So that was the problem that now Netscape and Brendan Eich were facing. They had created an amazing language that could bring a revolution in the entire development area itself. But due to not a lot of, and this was in 1990s and 1980s, there were not a lot of news or like just like news outlets. Everybody didn't have a personal computer or a mobile phone ki, haan, Google, so like I got a notification from Google that this is the upcoming language that we have to use. So there was nothing like that. they created a language nobody was using. So what they did was they had a great marketing team. So at that point of time, like I said, Java was being used by everyone throughout the world. What they did was they renamed their programming language from LiveScript to JavaScript. Okay, now just think about it in such a way. You are using Nike shoes. Okay, you are using Nike shoes, and somebody just added like Nikee. Okay, just like one more E at the end. So whenever you are looking at that, you will feel like it may be possible that it's a sub brand of Nike. Like somebody named their shoes as Nike Sports or Nike Run. Okay, this is what they have named their company as. You will feel that this is somehow related to Nike, the original company itself, and you will buy Nike Run shoes or Nike Sports shoes as well. Although the matter of fact is both the companies aren't related to each other, and this is how Brendan Eich and Netscape were able to create hype. They renamed the LiveScript to JavaScript. Everybody thought that this was a scripting language of Java. So like this was a sub brand of Java, and everybody started using that as well. And they soon figure out that there's a lot of advantages to the same, and everybody started using it out. But please remember, the only similarity between Java and JavaScript is just the name and nothing else. They are as similar to each other as apple and pineapple are, or car and carpet are. Okay, there is no similarity between the two except the part that Java is in both their names, nothing else. Okay, it was just a great marketing tactic, and right now you are able to see the efforts that they had put in. Give like almost everybody is using JavaScript as of this particular moment. Now the European Union, just like always, they like to standardize stuff. So they came in and they said that there are various versions for JavaScript. We need to make sure that these versions are well maintained and well organized. So they named JavaScript as is my voice audible to everyone? Please let me know. Is my voice audible to everyone? Please let me know. Okay. So they came into the being, and so for those who are from my previous bootcamp, yeah, that's correct. So ECMAScript, they named JavaScript again as ECMAScript, and that is how you are right now maintaining the different versions of JavaScript. You can call it as ECMAScript or ES5, ES6. Okay, that is a short form for ECMAScript itself. So that is what I'm trying to make you guys understand, that if someone is saying JavaScript, if someone is saying ECMAScript, if someone is saying ES5, you need to understand that they are referring to the same language, that is JavaScript, at the end of the day. And this is the rich history behind JavaScript. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Prakhar, Sharan, yes, of course, Prakhar, you can get placed in Microsoft. Like, don't you guys see the placement statistics of your college itself? Okay, great. So let's proceed further, guys. Okay, Gopi, we have all our boot camps only in English, not in Hindi. The reason for the same is that we have some international students as well who come for the boot camps, some South Indian students as well, and we prepare students for interviews. So if you are going to visit an interview, go and give an interview for a job or an internship, they won't be allowing you to speak in English. Like, they will directly be rejecting you. I'll give you a very short example for the same as well. So many of our students got placed in Microsoft, Google, Atlassian, and many other companies as well. So in Google, we got 8 students placed the last month. So we approached all the students. We asked them that what are the, like, how was the entire placement, and like what was the process and everything. They said that the first 2 rounds were taken by Indians. Okay, there were 4 to 5 rounds on an average. The first 2 rounds were taken by an Indian itself, but the last 3 rounds were taken by people from various countries. They were people from China, they were people from Germany, they were people from US, they were people from UK who were taking their interviews. Now, if you don't know English, if you are not fluent in English itself, they will directly be rejecting you because they won't be able to understand one word in Hindi. The only way that you are able to communicate with them would be in English. So make sure that if you have such great aspirations of going into good companies, then you need to make sure that your English vocabulary is very good and your vocal English is like spoken English is also great. Okay. Okay. Should a person prioritize learning Java or Python? I will explain about that in a later time itself. Right now, I just need to understand that most of you have understood up till now, and then we are going to start off with our hands-on on JavaScript. Are you guys able to understand up till now? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand up till now? Please let me know. Great. So as I'm not able to see your chat, so just bear with me. Okay, so for JavaScript, just starting off with JavaScript, okay, when we will be moving further, we will be very organized and we will be using an IDE. You don't have to worry about the same. Right now, we are just starting off with our practice in JavaScript. Excuse me, can I get a phone? Thank you. Yeah, so I've just opened up the live chat as well. I'm able to see the live chat. So let's continue with the same. So very simple. So we will be moving further to an IDE as well. Right now, just for the practical purposes, we are going to use the browser. So what I want you to do is, if you want to practice along with me, it's fine. If you just want to listen, it's totally fine. Like it's totally up to you what you prefer. So right click and then inspect. Okay, click anywhere. Okay, click anywhere on the website, right click and then inspect. Okay guys, I'll do it once more. Right click and then inspect. Okay, so it will open up this developer console that you are able to look at right over here. We are going to use this in our just starting stages of learning JavaScript. Once we'll be shifting towards the major stuff, we will be moving towards an IDE itself, because then this won't be a practical like approach. Okay, so in here you will be able to see, let me just increase the size, elements, console, sources, network, performance, and so on and so forth. Okay, there are a many number of options available right over here. I want you to select console. Okay, I want you to select console from right over here, and we are going to start writing our first few lines of code right over here in the console itself. Okay, so there are some like issues right over here, but you can like just ignore them as of this particular moment, because that is due to the Chrome extensions itself. Okay. Okay, so there's a good question by Yogesh. So why are we discussing JavaScript in Python OpenCV Bootcamp? Because Yogesh, we will be deploying it. You cannot use Python in the front end. You can only use JavaScript. So you cannot make a web application of like object detection web application without using JavaScript. Okay. Just by using Python, you will only be able to create a small model, but you won't be able to deploy it. You won't be able to use it. So what's the use of creating such a model that you're not able to use? Okay, so we'll start by just doing one thing. Whenever you start a new like language, you always start off with the first thing, that is printing hello world in that particular language. That's just like, think of it as a auspicious thing of doing before starting a particular new language itself. Give me a second, guys. My screen is not visible. Somebody is writing. Let me just see. It's completely visible. There's no issues with the screen itself. Okay, so let's get started. We haven't explained anything. Just I'm saying that we will now be printing something to our screen using JavaScript. We'll be printing hello world to our screen using JavaScript. So what we are going to use is, we are going to use alert. Okay, just write alert and then let's say hello world. Okay, so this is the code that we have written right over here. We are having a particular function called as alert. Okay, in the parenthesis I'm writing what needs to be printed out. Okay, what needs to be printed out, and then I'm closing it at the end with a semicolon, if you are able to see. So I'm telling JavaScript that this is the end of my code. Like it's the end of one sentence of code that I've written. Think of it as a full stop in English. Like in English, you are having a full stop. In your language, that is JavaScript itself, you are having a semicolon. Okay. You can ignore the semicolon as well. Okay. You can remove it. It will work totally fine. But when you will be writing like 10,000 lines of code, and if you are not putting in semicolons, it may result into some kind of errors. So it's always a good practice to put up semicolon at the end, guys. So when I'm pressing enter, so what is the meaning of alert? Okay, can someone let me know what is the meaning of alert in normal English? I'm talking about normal English itself. What is the meaning of alert? Can someone let me know in the live chat, please? Can someone let me know what is the meaning of alert in the live chat? Attention, notification, warning, notify, making someone aware of something. Exactly. My LinkedIn account is down in the description of the video itself. You can get connected with me there. Get cautious, pay attention, sense of warning or possible danger. That's great. So as you are able to understand that, you are able to get some type of warning, some type of pop-up that you are able to get, and that is what the function of alert is in JavaScript. So if I'm writing alert, and whatever I'm writing in the parenthesis, if it needs to be in a particular in quotation marks itself, that is called as a string in JavaScript. We will be discussing about it later on as well. Okay, as soon as I'm pressing enter right over here, you are able to see we are able to get a notification, a warning, alert that we are able to generate saying www.google.com says hello world. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. So we have used alert to okay, I've just closed the live chat. Okay, we are able to use alert to generate a message of hello world back to us. As soon as I'm clicking on okay, it is getting over, and an undefined is being returned to us. We will be coming back to this undefined, why this is being returned to us, when we'll be learning about functions. But right now our main motive was to print hello world, and we have successfully done that. Okay, yeah, giggles with Vishal, you have done it, that's awesome. But many of the students are first timers for this particular bootcamp, and I have to do it again for them. I assume that no student knows anything in these bootcamps, and I start from there. Okay, so we have got the alert done, right? Now what if I want to get an input from the user? Okay, I've a technique of showing something to the user. Now I need to get an input from the user as well. Okay, so we are going to use a prompt function for that. It looks the absolute same. Okay, prompt, prompt. Okay, that's the name of that function. What is your name? Okay, as simple as that. We are having this particular code of prompt. Okay, and then in parenthesis, what is your name? When I'm pressing enter right over here, we are able to get a prompt. Okay, we are able to get a place, an alert, but this time this alert is a bit different. Whatever I entered into the parenthesis, I'm able to get that as an alert. What is your name on our screen? But along with that, we also have an input field as well. And in this input field, we can spell out our name, Shaurya Sinha, and you will be able to see that that is getting printed out in our console as well. Okay, whatever input the user gave, it will come out in the console, and we are not getting undefined. Just remember this. We will be coming back to this when we will be learning about functions, but just remember this, that instead of getting undefined right over here, when we are using prompt, when we are taking an input from the user, we are getting the input back again. Okay, so we have done with alert, we have done in prompt as well. Okay, so Akshay, like I showed you right now, prompt takes an input from the user. Whatever input you want to give get from the user itself, you use prompt. Now what we want to do right now is, we want to, so the current place where you are writing your code, where you are writing alert or prompt, all these things, this area is called as your console. As you are able to see, it is being selected right over here, called as console itself. Okay, So what if I want to just print something out in the console? I don't want to have any kind of alerts. I don't want to have any kind of pop-up. Okay. I don't want to have any kind of like prompt to show something. I just want to print something out in the console itself. So for that we are having another code called as console.log. Okay. Now please let me know what is the meaning of logging something down. Okay, logging something down. Can someone let me know what is the meaning of logging something down? It means recording something. You are logging the details down. You are recording the details down to document, write. Okay, all these different things are basically logging stuff down. So if you want to write something out in the console, if you want to log something out in the console, you are going to use console.log, and then you are going to have parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis you can have your hello world, and in this you will be able to see that we are getting hello world being printed out in our console. But along with that we are also getting undefined. So please remember these three things. When we were using alert, we didn't got anything out in the console, we just got undefined. When we were using prompt, whatever the input that the user gave, that we got out in the console. And then when we were using console.log, we were getting the stuff that was written within the brackets in the console, but we were also getting undefined in the console. So these are the three things that I want you to remember. Okay. Because when we will be starting out with functions, like we'll be starting out with functions right now, but I don't think so we'll be able to complete all the three different kinds of functions. So as soon as we'll be completing it, we will be coming back to this particular point again. Can you please explain log again? Simran, just think about it. What is logging? To record something, to print something out. So to print something out in the console itself, I don't want any pop-ups, I don't want any type of alerts. I want to write it down in the console itself, not outside the console. It shouldn't be visible to the user, it should only be visible to the developer, that is in the console itself. So for that we are having console.log, and then whatever you want to log down in the console itself. Okay. Okay, so now one of the problems of writing our code in, so let us do one more thing. So you are having numbers in JavaScript. Okay, so you are having 1 plus 3 is 4, 1.5 plus 1 is 2.5. So these are numbers in JavaScript. You are having your true and false values in JavaScript. Okay, so you are having true and false values in JavaScript. Okay, that is zeros and ones. And then you are having your strings that you have seen up till now. So you are having hello, and then you are having world and all these kind of stuff here in console. Okay, so these are the different type of data types that are present. So different kind of data have different type of types. So it may be numbers, it may be decimals, it may be boolean. True and false are called as boolean values. And then you are having your strings as well. For those who are familiar with basic physics of, I think so, 11th and 12th, they may be familiar with your boolean algebra and boolean values, that is zeros and ones. I don't think so I need to repeat myself. It's the same right over here itself. So of calling zeros and ones, we call them as false and true. That's the only thing. Okay, so I don't think that is something that I need to revise, because I think so everybody here is like above 12th standard itself. So I think so they will be very familiar with boolean values and boolean algebra. So I don't need to reiterate myself. But yeah, now with strings, so for example, when you're doing 1 plus 2, you are able to get 3. Okay, this is called as arithmetic. Okay, you are having your plus operator, you are using it on either decimals or integers. You will get addition as your operation that you are performing. But when you are using the same operand, okay, you are using the same operator on let's say a string. So let's say a is as plus get. Okay, you are using like plus on your string itself. It will concatenate them, it will attach them into a single string. Okay, so different data types have different type of operators that you can use on them, and they have different type of results as well. This is one of the examples that I wanted you to know. Okay, The next that we are going to see is that so why we don't use console to write out our code. Now, for example, you want to write multiple lines of code itself. Okay, you want to write, let's say, okay, first of all, I need you to learn about variables. So what if I want to have like the prompt, let us say we are having the prompt right over here. I'm taking the input from the user Shaurya Sinha, and then I want to show an alert saying that, hi Shaurya, welcome to DevTown. I want to do this. But right now I'm not, even though the user in like gave the input, that is my name is Shaurya Sinha, I'm not able to use that name again. Like I cannot use that name again. Although I'm able to see it right over here, I haven't saved it anywhere. I need to save it somewhere so that I'm able to reuse it. And that is where the concept of variables come into being. So let us try to understand the concept of variables. Okay, so let me just remove this. Once we'll be able to understand variables, it will be very easy to understand the rest of the stuff as well. We increase size, take out the tablet. Can we save the code on console? No. Once you are like refreshing the page, all your progress would be lost. Okay, I will be coming back to that. Don't worry about the same. So variables, let's try to understand that. Let's assume that you are a great programmer. Okay, you are an amazing programmer. Let's have some messy hair and some mustache, beard, like he looks like me. So you are an amazing programmer. You came into Bangalore for your job, and right now you took a house for rent. Okay, you had a house for rent right now, and you started going off to gym as well. You have taken up a great car for your on EMI. Okay, so you have taken a very good car for on EMI as well. So I'm very bad at making drawings, so just bear with me. So your house itself, it's the rent is like $100. Okay, your gym membership is like $50. Your EMI is like $100. Okay, per month. Your per month salary that you are able to receive every single month is about $500. Let's assume that it's about $500 itself. So, and your tax, so you, as it is $500 a month, the tax that you have to pay is like 30%. Okay, that is your taxation rate as of this particular moment. So what happens is you decided I'm a great programmer who is going to do all these stuff, all these calculations. I will just make a good program that will be able to pay my rent, that will be able to pay my EMI, that will be able to pay my gym membership. It will be able to file my income tax returns as well, and it will be able to tell me how much money I'm able to save every single month. Okay, so you started out with making that program. So let's assume that you started out making the program itself. So okay, so some calculation, and then 100 plus 50 plus 100, that is your like monthly expenses, and then you're subtracting it from a particular number, that is like 500 into 70 divided by 100, that is your amount after taxation that is left. You are able to calculate your savings as well, then you will have to do it again. So so that was your savings. Then maybe like some other calculations. So let us assume that you are having your 100, okay, dollars of home rent, and that is going to you have to pay, then like 50 right over here, then 100 right over here, and like it's like 10,000 lines of code that you have written. Like you have written 10,000 lines of code, and there's a lot many number of code itself, and everywhere wherever there is any kind of calculations, you are putting up the numbers directly right over there, and you have made this code. Okay, now it works perfectly fine. It files your income tax returns, it makes all the payments itself, it does all the work for you. You don't have to worry about the same. Now what happens is that the landlady, okay, the landlady that is present right over here, she comes to know that you are earning a lot. She's like, hey, oh my god, you are earning a lot, I cannot watch to bear this. Okay, so she says that I will be increasing your rent from $100 to $150. I'm going to increase your rent from 100 to $150, and you have to pay it, and you don't have any choice. You have to pay her. Now when you are going back to your code to like edit the code itself, you are able to see that like I don't know if this 100 is for my rent or for my EMI. is this 100 for my rent or for my EMI? And I have to do this for the entire 10,000 lines of code every single time. Okay, every single time the gym membership or the EMI or the rent increases or decreases. And this is a huge like burden on me. I have to go through 10,000 lines of code every single time, and I don't want to do that. Okay, this is a huge efforts on anyone's behalf. So what can I do? That is where the concept of variables came into being. Okay, so let me just erase this from here. So instead of writing the code like that, what you can do is you can create variables. So for example, var, okay, and like you're just let us not go into the syntax. So you are having rent is equals to 150. Okay, you are having your EMI is equals to 100. You're having your gym is equals to 50. You're having your sal is equals to 500. You're having your tax is equals to 0.3. Okay, so that is what you have created your variables. And now whenever you are going to do any kind of computation, you're going to write, like for example, sal into 1 minus tax. Okay, minus, then in brackets, rent plus EMI plus gym. Okay, and so on and so forth. So this is how you are going to write your 10,000 lines of code. Now even if the rent is increased, decreased, you don't have to touch these 10,000 lines of code. You don't even have to look at them. What you have to do is you just have to come in these lines. Okay, it's 200, so just increase right over here. It's decreased to $30, just change it to $30. And the rest of your code, you don't even have to look at it, because if you are writing rent as $200 here, then the variable rent, the name that you have used right over here, it contains now the value of 200 when it will be doing the calculations. So you don't have to write the 10,000 lines of code again and again and again. So are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know the concept of variables. Are you guys able to understand the concept? Please let me know, guys. So just think about variables as a box. Okay, think about variables as a box. Okay, so when you are creating a variable in JavaScript, the code that you have to write is var rent is equals to 1000. Okay, this is how you create a variable in JavaScript. Now think about it as a box called as rent. Okay, the name of the box is rent, and the value that it stores inside of it is 1000. Okay, the value that it stores inside of it is 1000. Whenever I'm going to use rent anywhere else in my code, it refers to the value that it contains. Okay, it refers to the value that it contains. So this is how the concept of variables work. Now when we are going back to our code, so what I'm going to do right now is, whatever input that the user was giving me in prompt, I'm going to save it in a particular variable called as name. So we are going to create var name. This is how we are going to create our variable, is equals to prompt what is your name. Okay, is equals to prompt what is your name. As soon as I'm hitting enter, it is asking me for my name. So this is Shaurya Sinha. Okay, no, in JavaScript you don't have to declare variable type. So right now, instead of getting Shaurya Sinha as the like in the console, we are getting undefined right over here, because that Shaurya Sinha is now being saved in the variable name. Now if I'm just writing name right over here, you will be able to see that it is coming as Shaurya Sinha as the value that is being contained inside of name. So I can use it anywhere. So I'll create an alert. Okay, I will create an alert called as name. Okay, and then you are able to see that www.google.com says Shaurya Sinha. Okay, so this is how you will be able to utilize a variable as well. Are you guys able to understand? Please let me know. Prakhar, please focus upon the class itself. Do not disturb other students. Okay, great. So, okay, now coming back to the certifications and like the attendance itself. So, first of all, I will just hide my screen for a few seconds. Do not worry, you will be able to see me. Give me a second. So, I will just hide it. Display capture done. Okay, so now I will be able to talk to you guys freely. Okay, so right now you guys need to understand one thing. Okay, you guys will be so attendance as well as, just give me a second guys, every single day the way I will be taking attendance would be different. Okay, every day will be having attendance, but it will be in a very different way. So every day you will have to attend the session live to be able to like know where the attendance link is. Otherwise you won't be able to identify the same. Okay, and for the certifications, give me a second guys. Okay, just check. Okay, so I will let you guys know about the criteria for the certificate as well. Give me a second. I'll just show my screen right now. Okay, so the criteria for certificates, there will be two certificates that will be given out at the end of this particular bootcamp. It usually takes 1 to 2 weeks to send out the certificates after the end of a particular bootcamp itself. Okay, so there are two things. Every single day I will be taking your attendance live. Okay, you will have to fill it, and on the basis of that the first certificate will be given out. Those students will be having 7 days of attendance, that is 100% attendance throughout the boot camp. They will be getting a certificate on behalf of DevTown for completing the 7 days training on the project itself. And those students who will be having, so after the project is done, we'll be asking you to submit the project, and we'll be checking those projects as well. So those students who will be able to have 100% attendance as well as the correct project submitted, those students will be able to get a particular like certificate from Google developer groups for completing the training of 7 days on whatever the topic of the bootcamp is. Okay, so there are two certificates that will be given out at the end of the bootcamp. Both of them require 100% attendance on a daily basis, and if you have the correct project submitted, you will get the certificate via Google developer groups as well. Okay, so these are the two things. For the Netflix project, I've told it repeatedly. For the past few days, I was not at all well. So I was not able to take up the classes on Tuesday and Monday. Monday and Tuesday, I will try my best. It may be possible that Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday or Tuesday, whatever suits according to that, I'll be conducting the boot camps separately for finishing off the Netflix project as well. Okay, and every single day there will be a different way in which the attendance will be taking place. Some days you won't, if you're not attending the boot camp, you won't even know where the attendance link is. Like nobody will be able to tell you. That is how the attendance link will be given. On the first day, I've taken it up relatively easy to give you out the attendance link, but on the rest of the days it won't be easy for the same. Right now what I want you to do is, I'm going to show you the attendance link on your screen. Take a screenshot for the same. Okay, take a screenshot of the attendance link, and you can use Google Lens or you can type it out. Please make sure that the small letters are small letters, the capital letters are capital letters. The link always works. There is never a time when the attendance link is not working. If you are getting like form error or something like that, then it means that you are having some spelling mistake. So don't come to us. We know that the attendance link always works. check the spelling. This is a recorded video, means like this video will be available as it is being recorded as well. So you can come back to this video, increase the size, like increase the quality of the video. If you are using YouTube for the first time, for those who are using YouTube for the first time, you can come back, you can increase the quality to 1080p. You will be able to look at it absolutely fine. Even if you are using Geophone, you will be able to see the entire attendance link totally fine. Okay, so take a screenshot. If you want to type it out, you can type it out. If you don't want to type it out, you can use a Google Lens. Google Lens may do some errors while scanning the same, so please check the spelling once again. Okay, exactly, pause the stream. So you can pause the stream as well, and the link is absolutely visible. I'm able to see on my screen as well. On my mobile phone, it's absolutely visible, and the quality of the stream, I've set it to 360p. So in 360p as well, I'm able to clearly see the link. So you can increase the quality of the video as well. Okay, and you will be able to do that. Okay, the link won't be shared anywhere else, okay, with anyone. So please don't think that the link will be shared. As you're able to see, 9 responses have already came in. That means the link is working absolutely fine. There is no issues with the link at any point of time. Okay, the screen is also visible clearly. There is no issues. If you are not able to see the screen clearly, then increase the quality of the video. Okay, at 360p on my phone, I was able to see the link absolutely clearly. Okay, and okay, so that would be it for today, guys. This is a YouTube video. After the stream is ending, the video will still be available on YouTube. You can rewind and watch the link for today, but from tomorrow I won't be sharing the link like this. It will be available on various different channels and everything. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. It was great meeting you, and we'll meet tomorrow as well, and we'll continue with the boot camp. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.